making headlines this hour. According to the Ministry of Economic Development, Transport and Trade, the SIDS Global Business Network Forum 2026 will bring numerous benefits to the Maldivian economy. In a landmark development for Maldives' infrastructure landscape, the physical link between the capital city of Male and Vilimale officially connects under the flagship Tilamale Bridge project. And statistics from the Ministry of Finance and Public Enterprises shows the Sovereign Development Fund (SDF) has received $84.3 million in deposits so far this year. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to PSM News in English with me, Fatma Zaina Rifat. And now for the news in detail. President Dr. Mohammad Muiz inaugurates the website of Falah Preschool. President Dr. Mohammad Muiz also attended as the chief guest a ceremony held to mark the 50th anniversary of Falah Preschool. A commemorative plaque was unveiled for the president during the ceremony. The ceremony also included the presentation of commemorative plaques to individuals who have served Falah Preschool for more than 10 years. Certificates were also presented to those who designed the school's logo. Speaking at the ceremony, Falah Preschool Chief Executive Al-Qari Al-Hafiz Abdul Sattar Abu Bakru thanked and recognized the individuals and organizations that have contributed to the school's development over the years. Falah Preschool operates under Jamiyatul Falah, an independent association. The association was officially registered with the government in 1961 and was founded by the late Abu Bakru Ibrahim. As Jamiyatul Falah expanded its activities to promote religious awareness among Maldivians, it established a school under the name Madrasatul Falah on 20th January 1976. The school later began providing preschool education specifically for young children. Its name was changed to Falah Preschool on 23rd December 2001. The school, which began with a small number of students, now offers nursery and baby nursery classes. It currently provides education in 2 shifts. Falah Preschool provides education using modern resources and trains its teachers to adapt to changing educational needs. Since 2015, the school has been following the national curriculum. According to the Ministry of Economic Development, Transport and Trade, the SIDS Global Business Network Forum 2026 will bring numerous benefits to the Maldivian economy. Scheduled for 23rd to 25th August at the Basele Nasandra Male, the biennial gathering will convene representatives from more than 30 countries, including government officials, commercial enterprises, investors, civil society groups, and academic researchers. Designed to foster cross-sector collaboration for small island developing states, SIDS, the platform addresses structural investment hurdles, economic bottlenecks, and long-term financing mechanisms. The decision to hold the event in the Maldives follows an initiative championed by President Dr. Mohammad Muiz at the 4th International Conference on Small Island Developing States in Antigua and Barbuda in 2024, where President Muiz urged multilateral stakeholders to secure essential development financing. Appearing on the PSM News program Raja Miyadu, Muhammad Tariq Ahmed, the Minister of State for Economic Development, Transport and Trade, observed that the summit would elevate the nation's international profile whilst strengthening domestic commerce. The assembly carries threefold significance. It marks the forum's 10th anniversary, serves as the inaugural event following the adoption of the 10-year Antigua and Barbuda Agenda for Small Island Developing States framework, and inaugurates the Island Investment Forum series. The Maldives takes part in the 17th Conference of the Parties, COP17, of the United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification, UNCCD, held from 14th to 28th August in Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia. Representing the island nation were Ahmad Shan, Director of Knowledge Management, Research and Assessment, and Aishat Alhan Hamid, Senior Surveyor, both from the Ministry of Climate Change, Environment and Energy. According to the ministry, this year's summit centered on strengthening countries' resilience to drought, with delegates debating an international policy framework that would establish early warning systems and risk financing mechanisms to operationalize drought protection plans. Participants also stressed the urgency of scaling up public and private investment to rehabilitate agricultural land, soils, and grasslands, a key step toward achieving the global target of land degradation neutrality. Highlighting the role of science, the Maldivian delegation underscored the need for robust research to monitor drought trends, manage soil and water resources, and restore natural ecosystems in line with the broader climate change objectives. Under the conference theme, Restoring Land, Restoring Hope, the Maldives reiterated its commitment to collaborate with other small island developing states, SIDS, and international partners to devise comprehensive solutions that safeguard its fragile terrestrial habits and shallow reef environments. The ministry affirmed that the Maldives will continue to pursue integrated strategies that address both land-based and marine challenges, ensuring the nation's ecosystems remain resilient amid a changing climate. The Maldives highlights technical challenges faced by small island developing states, SIDS, in using a price reporting platform at the 17th session of the Conference of the Parties, COP17, to the United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification. UN Director Ahmad Shan of the Ministry of Climate Change, Environment and Energy joined a panel discussion at the China Pavilion on the sidelines of COP17, focusing on national realities, reporting bottlenecks and targeted capacity needs across East, South and Southeast Asia. In his remarks, Shan highlighted difficulties faced by SIDS, particularly low-lying atoll islands, in using the price reporting platform. He said the platform's current structure and data requirements do not always align with the limited land area, fragmented geography, and monitoring capacities of atoll nations. He also noted that land cover classification products rely on low-resolution satellite imagery, which can fail to capture the fine-scale land degradation and coastal changes that are important for environmental assessment and planning in the Maldives. The Maldives said it looks forward to working with technical support providers and the COP to develop more inclusive methodologies suited to SIDS, improve access to higher resolution data, and strengthen tailored capacity building. The ministry said such measures would help small island states improve the accuracy of their reporting and support more effective implementation of the convention. In a landmark development for the Maldives' infrastructure landscape, the physical link between the capital city of Male and Villa Male officially connects under the flagship Tilamale Bridge project. The Indian engineering firm Afcons, which is executing the massive development, has installed the final segment connecting the two islands, marking the complete assembly of the main structure for this critical section. According to the project officials, the focus now shifts to the final finishing phase. Over the coming days, crews will work on installing safety railings, setting up street lighting, and completing road surfacing. Afcons clarified that while the bridge structure is physically joined, the stretch will remain closed to public until all safety installations and finishing works are fully completed. The Tilamale Bridge, officially known as the Greater Male Connectivity Project, is widely regarded as a pivot catalyst for the economic future of both the capital region and the nation as a whole. Recognizing its importance, the incumbent administration made expediting the construction in partnership with the Indian government and contractors a top priority upon taking office. Once fully operational, the 6.7-kilometer connectivity network of bridges, causeways and highways will seamlessly link four major landmasses: Male, Vilimale, Gulifalo and Tilafushi. The Ministry of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development reported that complementary works are progressing rapidly alongside the main bridge, with road construction on Gulifalo advancing swiftly and the essential coastal revetment works currently underway in Tilafushi. The $500 million mega project is backed by significant financial support from India, comprising a $100 million grant and a $400 million line of credit, supplemented by funding from the Maldivian government. The government is currently targeting the end of next year for the full completion and commissioning of the entire Tilamale Bridge network. Statistics from the Ministry of Finance and Public Enterprises shows the Sovereign Development Fund (SDF) has received $84.3 million in deposits so far this year. The ministry's latest weekly fiscal development report shows that deposits to the SDF reached $84.3 million between 1st January and 13th August this year. Alongside the deposits, government spending on debt repayment also increased during the period. The government spent $629.1 million on repaying loans so far this year, compared with the $252.9 million during the same period last year. The government also used the SDF to repay a $500 million loan this year. The government established the Sovereign Development Fund to address unexpected circumstances, repay large loans taken for various development projects, and cushion the economy against losses arising from economic shocks. The fund operates separately from the reserves of the Maldivian Monetary Authority (MMA) and the country's central bank. Established in 2016, SDF receives government revenue from three sources. These include revenue from the airport development fee collected from departing passengers, dividends from the profits of MACL, which operates Valana International Airport, and additional revenue generated by increasing fees for certain airport services. The Ministry of Finance and Public Enterprises reports that spending on grants and subsidies reached $524 million, a 44% increase compared with the same period last year, when outlays stood at $363 million. According to the weekly fiscal report, as of 13th August, the rise was driven primarily by higher fuel prices stemming from the Middle East conflict, which inflated the cost of fuel subsidies for electricity generation. Subsidies alone accounted for $220 million, a 78.4% surge from $123 million a year earlier. Block grants to local councils followed as the second largest expenditure item, totaling $90.8 million, up 17% from $77.8 million in the comparable period. The Asanda Universal Health Insurance Scheme also saw growth, with $84.3 million spent so far this year, a 14% increase over $71.3 million in 2025. Conversely, medical welfare spending fell to $9.66 million, down 23% from $12.58 million last year. The ministry emphasized that these subsidies aim to cushion citizens from international price volatility, keeping essential goods and services affordable despite rising global fuel costs. Statistics shows that women aged between 25 and 34 make up the largest share of tourists who have visited the Maldives so far this year. According to the weekly update report published by the Ministry of Tourism and Civil Aviation, female tourists account for the highest number of arrivals so far this year. The statistics also show that women outnumber men in every age category except among tourists aged over 65. Of the 1.3 million tourists who have visited the Maldives so far this year, 14% are women aged between 25 and 34. The second largest group comprises women aged 35 to 44, accounting for 11.8% of arrivals. The third largest group is female tourists aged under 14. Among the male tourists, the largest group visiting the Maldives are those aged between 25 and 34. Looking at tourist arrivals by nationality, Chinese tourists make up the largest group, followed by Russian tourists. More than 200,000 tourists have arrived from each of these two countries. The United Kingdom is the third largest source market, with more than 100,000 tourists visiting the Maldives. The Maldives has received 1.3 million tourist arrivals so far this year, about 3% lower than the 1.4 million tourists recorded during the same period last year. Tourist arrivals have now begun to increase. More than 100,000 tourists have arrived in the Maldives so far this month, representing a 2.6% increase compared with the number recorded during the same period in August last year. Malé Water and Sewerage Company Limited (MWSC) Managing Director Hussein Fahmi says the company is preparing to begin work by the middle of next year on a project to produce water through a plant established 500 meters below the sea level. Managing Director Fahmi made the remarks while speaking on Ahashe Bunanang, a program jointly presented by Devehi Rajege Ado and Television Maldives. He said MWSC is undertaking several initiatives to strengthen the country's water system and expand services across the atolls. Among the major projects planned to further develop water services, he highlighted the project to produce water below the sea level as one of the most significant. As part of the project, MWSC plans to establish a water plant 500 meters below the sea level in collaboration with an experienced Norwegian company that has achieved significant success in the field. MWSC has already signed an agreement for the project and is now conducting feasibility, technical, and environmental studies. The company expects to complete these stages and begin practical work by the middle of next year. Managing Director Fahmi said MWSC is first assessing the project's financial feasibility, including the level of investment required. Explaining the advantages of the project, Managing Director Fahmi said it would improve energy efficiency and make it easier to discharge reject water into the sea. He said seawater obtained from a depth of 500 meters is very clean and cleaner than seawater drawn through boreholes, while also containing lower levels of organic metals. These factors would improve efficiency and reduce costs, he added. Managing Director Fahmi also noted the shortage of land presents a major challenge to establishing water plants on land. He said producing water below the sea would represent a significant advancement for an island nation such as the Maldives. As similar work is being carried out successfully in Norway, MWSC plans to send a technical team there to observe the work and gain experience. Managing Director Fahmi said the initiative could develop into a major project and become an important undertaking that sets an example for the Maldives. Alongside the Deep Sea Water Project, MWSC is also working on plans to strengthen water supply between key islands. Fahmi said the company has decided to lay pipelines alongside the Tilamale Bridge to supply water to Male and Hulumale. MWSC plans to establish a water storage system in either Tilafushi or Gulifalo and supply water from there to Male and Hulumale. Fahmi said the network would require significant expenditure. MWSC is therefore holding discussions with the government to begin the project by the time work on Tilamale Bridge is completed. Maldivian Deputy Managing Director Ali Salim says the company's new seaplanes will enable the airline to operate night flights. Seaplane services are a major source of revenue for Maldivian, which currently operates a fleet of 11 seaplanes and is working to expand the fleet. The airline currently provides seaplane services to resorts as well as several islands and continues to receive numerous requests to introduce the service. As part of the fleet expansion, Maldivian signed an agreement with a Canadian company on 11th August to purchase two DHC-6 Twin Otter Classic 300G aircraft. Deputy Managing Director Salim said the aircraft feature was the latest technology that will enable Maldivian to operate seaplanes at night. Deputy Managing Director Salim explained that the aircraft currently used for seaplane operations in the Maldives do not have the equipment required for night flights. In contrast, the newly ordered aircraft will have the capability to operate at night. In addition to operating as seaplanes, Deputy Managing Director Salim said Maldivian will also be able to operate the new aircraft on a wheelbase. Maldivian connected 4 southern atolls by air in February this year. The airline said the ability to operate the new aircraft on a wheelbase will provide major convenience and advancement to its operations. The United States and Canada says that both parties failed to reach a trade deal late, and the U.S. will impose 50% tariffs on some imports from Canada. A senior Trump administration official said Section 338 tariffs on about $20 billion worth of Canadian goods would go into effect just after midnight on Saturday. Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney said he had suspended trade negotiations and Canada would retaliate dollar for dollar on the new tariffs. The decision made by the U.S. administration followed 3 straight days of talks in Washington between Canada's Minister for Trade with the U.S., Dominic LeBlanc, said U.S. Trade Representative Jameson Greer. Congo's Health Minister Roger Kamba says the Democratic Republic of Congo received more than 16,000 doses of an Ebola vaccine, as authorities step up vaccination efforts against an outbreak that has infected more than 5,000 people and killed more than 2,300. Kamba said the government had decided to add vaccination to existing measures, including surveillance and treatment, as the outbreak continues to spread. Congo's 17th Ebola epidemic became the biggest in the country's history in terms of number of cases in late July, surpassing the previous worst outbreak in 2018 to 2020. It is caused by the Bundibugyo species of Ebola, which has no approved vaccines or treatments. Health authorities have faced intense community transmission, deaths outside treatment centers, and attacks and other disruptions affecting the response. The Democratic Republic of Congo has been allocated 70,000 doses of Merck's Ervebo vaccine for Ebola, the World Health Organization said, as the country attempts to contain its biggest ever outbreak of the deadly disease. Chelsea and Shakhtar both announces that Shakhtar will play their home matches in the UEFA Champions League's group phase at Chelsea's Stamford Bridge this season.
The Ukrainian champions have been unable to use their Donbas arena since Russian-backed forces entered the region in 2014 and were further displaced by Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022. Since leaving Donetsk, Shakhtar have played domestic matches in Kiev and Lviv while hosting European fixtures in Hamburg, Warsaw, Gelsenkirchen, Krakow and Ljubljana. The move to London comes after Chelsea failed to qualify for European competition following a 10th place Premier League finish last season, leaving Stamford Bridge available for Shakhtar's Champions League campaign. Chelsea was formerly owned by Russian oligarch Roman Abramovich, who was sanctioned by the UK government following Moscow's invasion of Ukraine, triggering the sale of the club to a group led by the American investor Todd Boehly and Clear Lake Capital. Stamford Bridge has a capacity of around 40,000.
The child star of the Baby Shark dance video, the most watched video in YouTube history, returns to the stage as a K-pop singer a decade on by releasing his first digital single.
Park Gyeon-rong, who starred in the video when he was 7 years old and is now 17, will make his solo K-pop debut under the name Baby Shark Boy and backed by Pinkfong Company, which owns the Baby Shark intellectual property. The catchy song, which is about a family of sharks, was released in 2016 and has since chalked up 17.2 billion views. It has been played at the White House and praised by US President Donald Trump, Tesla CEO Elon Musk, and other celebrities, while prompting parodies and a dance craze. Park said his new digital single titled Wave opens with the familiar Baby Shark melody before shifting into an electro-pop sound to which he contributed lyrics. He added that he views the single as the start of a longer musical journey.
And that's all the news we have for you today. Thank you for watching PSM News.